difficulties. We're running about 15 minutes behind, so my apologies. Our guest, Urblessed, Hall of Fame guest, Urblessed, is having some problems with his mic, and we couldn't get it to work. So we're going to do the show on him without him present. He's here, but for whatever reason, his microphone's not working. So he's going to try to iron that out. If he does, we'll go ahead and conduct the interview. But otherwise, we're going to take a look at Urblessed, kind of a featured night for him. I know on SBN we've conducted 3 interviews. This week we wanted to kind of stay in-house a little bit. Next week we have another big guest coming that we'll announce on Monday or Tuesday of next week. But today we have Urblessed, Hall of Fame owner Urblessed. He's been a member of Soden Bowl since 2012. Soden Bowl has been around since 2009. So a little history for UB. UB is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. And he is 3-0 in the Super Bowl. Looking at Urblessed's record here, he's won a Super Bowl with the Redskins twice and the Denver Broncos once. The best thing I can explain Urblessed is he is best known for his ability to make any quarterback elite. This owner not only wins in big games, but also dominates the passing stats each year. He does that because he's a smart owner. He doesn't fall into the same traps that some other owners do. You know, they get a 3rd and long and they try to throw it into coverage and get the interception or just negative plays. He really does a good job of avoiding negative plays. Highly active. He's active in other leagues, not just Soden Bowl. I know he's active over in the MSR. Good plug for those guys over there. MSR is a very good league, very sim-oriented league, puts out excellent top-notch content, and he's a big member over there, so that's really cool for him as well. Looking at Urblessed's team here, in Sim League, he has the Indianapolis Colts. He has the Colts sitting at 5-2 and in first place in the AFC South. He's tied with Alpha and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not quite sure how Alpha's got a 5-2 record here. I think we might want to take a look at him. You know, I think he might be bending the rules here and giving himself a couple wins he shouldn't have. So I don't know with that 5-2 record, but yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Alpha's a very good player. But yeah, these two are tied atop the AFC South. I think the Colts have a slight edge over him on maybe head-to-head record. He's having a very good year with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has 1,358 yards passing and 5 touchdowns through 7 games. He's got a good ground game. Naheem Hines, 265 yards. He's only averaging 3.5 yards per carry, but he's got a pair of touchdowns. Jordan Wilkins with 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. So great job on the ground for Urblessed. His wide receiver core, his core is among the fastest in the league. He did a good job of going after a couple free agents. He picked up Martavius Bryant and Philip Dorsett, 2 speedsters who kind of lack the route running. But for the style of offense that Urblessed is running, he has T.Y. Hilton, he has J.J. Nelson, and Eric Ebron. So he has some good route runners, guys that can get open. So he just added some speed, some long ball ability. And if you look at his stats right now, Philip Dorsett with 20 catches, 348 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is his number 1 receiver right now. Looking at, number 2, we have T.Y.'s tied with him with 20 catches. He has 338 yards, 1 touchdown. J.J. Nelson with 17 catches, 327 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. Now, the other free agent he picked up, Martavius Bryant, there's only so much room in here, so many weapons he can throw the ball to. So Martavius is still having a good season. He has 16 catches, 243 yards, no touchdowns. But the 4 receivers that we've mentioned above are all averaging 15 yards or more per reception. So excellent job there for Urblessed in the receiving game. His defense looks pretty good. Julian Love has 5 interceptions for him, 17 tackles and a sack. So that's kind of his main focus there. He does sport the number 4 defense in the league. So his defense is only allowing 16 points per game. Is that you, Urblessed? You're with us? No, I think we have Al, actually. Al's jumping in the studio. What's up, Al? Oh, I thought I heard Al there for a second. Oh, back to the Colts here. So, he's sporting the number 4 defense. He's only allowing 16 points per game. His offense tends to be the top spot for a Your Blessed style Soden Bowl team. His offense is only scoring 18 points per game right now. It's 24th in the league. That's kind of been fluctuating. He was in the top 10. He has faced some good defenses. I know he did face Miami in prime time. Alpha and I both broadcast that game, and Miami's probably playing the best football in Soden Bowl right now. So he kind of ran into a buzzsaw in Miami. Didn't
Test
really.
it.
Oh, I've got you.
You can hear me?
I hear you. There you are. You're blessed. Welcome to SBN.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. So we were just running through your team here. 3-time Soden Bowl champion and Hall of Fame owner. I did mention you were also in the MSR. Have you won any other Super Bowls outside of Soden Bowl?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so 3-time Soden Bowl champion only. You do share the lead in the AFC South. You and Alpha with the Jacksonville Jaguars are both 5-2. Have you played Alpha yet?
Uh, Man, I'm after. I don't think I played him yet this season
Here,
either.
let me take a look at the schedule for you real quick. Yes, actually, you guys played week 1. You beat them
Oh,
28-14.
oh,
So looking at, I think the big loss that kind of sticks out was that primetime game versus the Miami Dolphins. Looks
yeah, that
like,
was
yeah, looks like the Dolphins came out on top 41-10. What happened in that game?
he was too good and I was not. Uh,
Just kind of a bad game, huh?
no, I feel like if I'm saying that, I'm discrediting him. He shut down. I didn't have time to throw. It seemed like I was. It was one of those.
Yep, we lost you there, UB.
Can you hear
There.
me now?
Yep, I got you now. So it was one of those
Uh,
games.
yeah, one of those games where I was just behind the chains the whole game. It seemed like he was getting a sack early, first down. And I'm looking at second and long, and against that defense, that's just no good. And I had zero running game, and it was one of those things where I'm the type of guy now that if I'm playing and I can get some semblance of a running game, I'll stick with it. And if it's not going, it's just a thing I'm still trying to deprogram after all these years of, to keep it even when it's not working. And against him, you can't be one dimensional. And he just feasted on my famine.
And I think after seeing him once, now you have some game tape on him. I think if you guys meet again, or when you meet again in the playoffs, it might be a different story.
Well, it's going to be challenging getting to the playoffs now because I just lost Andrew Luck for about 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, Andrew Luck, 6 weeks actually. You've already lost Marlon Mack and Jabal Sheard too. Those two guys are
Yeah,
out for 8 weeks.
yeah.
So your backup quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, looks like you're 17 of 24 for 309 yards with him. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I think the first play of that game was just a terribly errant throw that, it's one of them throws where you throw it, you're like, I can't complete anything. But after that, I think I ran the ball the most I have this whole season so far in that game, and it worked in that game.
So if you could, I know we're only about, well, almost halfway through the season here, the regular season. Who would be your MVP for your team so far this season? Yep, didn't get you there.
It was luck, minus the Miami game.
Okay.
Um, if you look at the stats, if you look, I'm not a stats guy, but if you look at my stats,
Hmm.
if my completion percentage is around high 60, 70%, I'm playing well. The interceptions seem to be high because I throw as much as I do. Um, but I'm more concerned about when those happen. Interceptions are never good, but when they happen, and if my completion percentage is high, at least I know that I'm pretty much playing well. So um, I think it was luck, but also Love on defense. I think I have 5 picks with him so far.
Yeah, yeah, he's having a fantastic season.
Yeah. The defense has played well. I don't know. I think I'm top five defensively right now, which is shocking to me. That's not really my forte. But the defense has been playing well. Timely sacks and timely turnovers.
Yeah, so looking at your stats through the last 4 games, I really think you hit the nail on the head here. So playing New Orleans, you had a 77.3% completion percentage, and that's a win. You had Houston, you had a 57.1, so you dipped under the 60%, but you won. And then you had Oakland. You beat Oakland 23-7, and he was absolutely on fire. Going into that game, your completion percentage 69.7 in that game. So yeah, I would say anytime you're over 60% or just hanging around that 60% mark, looks like you have a very good chance at winning. Question for you. Looking at the team, so Andrew Luck is your early MVP, even though he's hurt, but he will be back before the playoffs. Looking at your upcoming free agents, looks like you have Eric Ebron, Jabal Shear, Jack Doyle, Ryan Kelly, and Anthony Costanzo. How are you going to be able to sign these guys? You letting any of these guys go, or what's your plans with some of these free agents? You may need to fix your mic.
Can you hear me?
There you are. And there you go. No, I'm not getting you on the mic.
Can you hear me now?
I've got you now. I don't think your mic agrees with you, UB.
Oh.
I've got you in and out. Did you get the question?
Can you hear me now?
I have you now.
Okay. Trying this. The offensive line. Uh, I loaded up on receivers, in the off season with speed. So it's no good to have speed if you got no time to throw. So definitely the line. I always try to get Ebron involved, but it doesn't seem like I'm really doing that a lot so far. So he might be a casualty, but I'm not sure.
Okay, what about Jabal Shear? Looks like Jabal Shear's making 6.3 million per
Mm-hmm.
season. What's your plans with him?
Uh, Gonna try to resign him. Um, might be a casualty.
Yeah, because
Uh,
it looks like you only have about 12.37 million in free space.
yes.
Before the draft. So yeah, it might be challenging to sign some of these guys.
Yeah, it is going to be. We'll see. I try not to sacrifice. I try not to sacrifice pass rush or offensive line play. I know it's usually like if it's free agency or the draft, Bless is going to be picking up speed, everywhere you can get it. But I usually really do because again, if you can't block, you can't throw, and if you can't generate a pass rush, um, you're not going to win.
So looking back in history here, do you have a certain season that we've played that kind of sticks out in your memory?
Uh, the Broncos season was that one kind of sticks out.
That one sticks
That
out.
was yeah, the one that caused the rule change.
Oh, was that that was the zigzag, right? Or the in and
Yeah.
out? Yeah, so
Yes.
that was let me see. That was that Super Bowl you defeated Seahawks 21 to
Yeah.
14.
I think I'm 1 in 1,000,000 against Seahawks. But yes.
Yeah, but you've defeated them when it counted the most. And you're also undefeated in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So
Just got to
that's
get
pretty.
there.
Yeah, you just got to get there. It looks like you're a lock to win. You're 3-0 in the Super Bowl, so that's pretty amazing. What team has been your most favorite to use over the years?
It's usually Washington.
Washington. Well, yeah, you're a Redskins fan.
Yeah.
What? So looking at the Redskins, was your favorite player Sean Taylor?
No. My favorite player actually was Williams
Okay, but that's back in the day, though.
back in the day.
Right. I'm
Oh,
talking
you talking
about
about?
Madden.
Oh, using RG3 wasn't half bad either.
Yeah, it's kind of a Michael Vick style quarterback back there. Uh,
Well, it was easy to max him out, and considering how I throw, and then you got all that speed, I always have quarterbacks that are just statues back there. So if I actually have a threat that can run too, that was pretty good.
so, if so, you mentioned Seahawks, and that you're like 1 in a million versus them. If you could give your top, let's do your top 5 hardest owners that you've faced.
Let's see. You Seahawks, uh, Triple Aries. Those are some wars with him.
Yeah, Tripp's really good.
Um, oh my gosh. Uh, and I'm gonna have people upset with me talking about I just dropped the hammer on him and he didn't even mention me. Um, that Miami spanking, that's gonna put him in the top 5 already. Uh, um, who else? D. Ellis. Um, yeah,
No, that's 5. That's a good 5 right there. I mean, you add up those guys' wins per season, and it's definitely going to be among the top of the league. You
yes.
can't go wrong there. Um, let's see. What do you think of the sim league so far?
Sim League has been great with the enforcement of the rules. It's really hard to find leagues at this point that have the rules. They are out there. You mentioned MSR. There are a few others that I'm in. Um,
Go, you can
and
plug
then
them.
also
Go ahead and plug them. Let's hear the leagues you're in.
uh, me, Madden Elite, Blitz. Uh, that's Cajun.
Yeah, Cajun always does a good job.
Oh yeah. Um, and USSL. It's a uh,
USSL.
it's a smaller league,
Uh huh.
but I've been in it for the branch that it came from. I was in it for years. It's like a branch from another league, and it's a really good league. And those are
Cool.
the ones I'm in.
Well, that's pretty cool. I know the MBL does a good job too. I love the content that the MBL puts out. They've got a huge draft going on right now. I was just
Hmm.
checking it out on Twitter, and I'll tell you what, they really produce some good content over there as well.
And
And
that's the thing. Like people have. I mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. That's the thing with this game. This game is challenging. We all have gripes with it. Some of us don't think it's the best game. We can go on and on and on and on about that. But and the thing with leagues, this is usually around the time that leagues start to die down. But when you have leagues that are pushing content like here, Soden Bowl, Blitz, uh, MBL, MSR, these are the type of leagues that have the best chance to, go on and do the full cycle because you're invested. It's fun. Twitter, podcasts, different shows. I believe all this stuff is actually necessary for you to actually have a thriving league because not everybody's going to win the Super Bowl. Not everybody's making it to the playoffs. But if you are, giving content, if you are actively engaged in chat, which I'm kind of negligent on that, but I read chat. But if you're an active participant in all of that, that's how leagues thrive. And while you have leagues that are dying right now, this league is picking up and going higher and upward, and that's important.
yeah, and looking at kind of the success of other leagues too, I think that content is very important. I mean, guys want to be excited. They want to, they want something that is different. We all don't want to be in the same game. And then getting back to Madden,
Hmm.
Madden does get a bad rap, especially over the years. You hear a lot of people say, well, they've ignored the CFM. It's leaning towards mutt. They own the rights to the NFL, and if there was something else, maybe they'd be better. But kind of my take on this thing is it's still the best football game out there. There's nothing close, and I think that Madden kind of gets a bad rap because there's no one else to kind of compare it to. There's not that 2K. I love 2K. There's not
I was
that.
about to say, don't tell that to those that deify NFL 2K5. Don't.
Oh, I
They
love
would bring out the
2K.
pitchforks. I
Yep.
did too.
Yeah, I love 2K. I love having options. But I
Yes.
think, the same thing that we're making fun of, EA not having competition, is also the same thing that's kind of fueling our fire. We don't have a 2K to compare Madden to look and say, hey, look, 2K lacks in this, 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 and this, but EA's good in this, this, and this. So I think it's kind of a double-edged sword here, or double-edged blade, so to speak, for
Mhm.
Madden. And, some of the stuff that they're doing, I mean, you look at being able to upload stuff to Twitter now. 3 years ago you
Yes.
couldn't do that.
Yes.
So that's huge for me for the CFM, because these guys are they're posting their pictures. I know Madden's this year has done a good job of pushing patches out.
Hmm.
So hopefully they can do a better job next year. Maybe with some of the QA that they do, some of the quality assurance. Maybe get with some of their actual game changers, and have
Yes.
them try the game before it releases, so they can iron out some of the bugs. I think that would be something that would benefit the CFM community, and probably the MUC community too.
Playbooks too. A playbook, if not overhaul, at least modified editions. Because if you sit there and you watch, I don't know how many people watch Madden Challenge or whatever. I'm not heavy in the mud. I'm not heavy into competitive playing, but I will watch. It's on ESPN, NFL Network. I watch, and I'm like, all I'm seeing is gun bunch, gun trips. Like I'm one to talk, but I mean, and we're running like 3, 4 plays a game, flip them, and I'm like, that's not that works for them. But in a sim league, that's no bueno. And I'm like, if you look at the playbooks, every year when I do a custom, and every year I go to the same playbooks. This is like the third year in a row where I just went to the same playbooks, got my same plays, and boom.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I've used the same plays now for 3 years myself too. I
Yeah.
literally write down every one of my custom plays that I have, and I have a pretty extensive playbook. And then
Mhm.
every year I just go do the same plays. I know them; they all work. So yeah, I agree with you on that. And I'm wondering, from a game development standpoint, if they can put some kind of a penalize. You use this play X amount of times, and every time you use this play, it becomes less successful. I don't know if they can code that into the game or not. I know they used to do it on fourth down.
Yeah, that would be great.
You
That
know,
that's all I'm talking about. Yeah, the abuse of running the same stuff over and over again. And they showed that they can make a patch to a playbook, because one of those patches they put out, it was like the equivalent of the Bill Walsh playbook back in the day, where we had split running back sets. And I'm like, okay, that's nice and all, but what about patching the actual playbooks you already have out here?
yeah, I think that's a great idea, and we're gonna
Or,
go. We're gonna go
oh, I'm
ahead and
sorry, go
pass.
ahead.
We're gonna go ahead and pass that along to some of our friends over at EA, and hopefully they listen to what we say. I know they listen. A lot of times they don't have the time to respond, so hopefully
Right,
they already know this, and it's something that they're working on.
indeed.
So I'm going to give a little plug out here. The NFL GM League. I'm going to get your thoughts on this one. You're blessed. So
Mhm.
these guys, they're on Twitter. Those of you that want to check them out, they're at NFLGM League on Twitter. So again, at NFLGM League. Now these guys, looks like these guys actually run a GM style league only. They don't play any of the games. They just manage the team, and they sim every 24 hours. What's your thoughts on a league like that?
I like it, but I also have like control issues. Wait, one side thing. I forgot. I left Just Too Bueno off my list in terms of difficult guys that I play. He's good too. Um, just saying. Anyway, the GM league.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Oh, we lost you there, buddy.
I like the thought being 24-hour advances, being
Mm-hmm.
able to customize everything and not playing the games. I I, I like that to a point, but then I got to be on the stick, because I think I just have a control issue. I don't know if I haven't done the league, so it's probably not the best for me to be like a yay or nay. It intrigues me. I'd actually have to play it, because then if, I might like it. But just on the thinking about it, I still like to be able to run my own stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a cool option. We were talking earlier about leagues that kind of diversify themselves from others. I think this is a really diverse league here, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is outside the box.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check them out. We spoke to the president, Bill Belichick, who's the president of the league on Twitter, and he passed me along a couple links. So I think we're gonna go ahead and put these up on our website for him, or at least on Twitter, and kind of reshare them for him because it's really a cool idea. Seems like a good bunch of guys too. So any of you guys out there listening, if you're into general managing a team, not necessarily playing, and you want to kind of sim through the season and see how your progressions, your trades, your depth chart, how that pans out. This is probably a good try for you guys. It looks like they do watch the championship game and the Super Bowl, so that'd be kind of cool to watch your team play.
Yes. Yes.
I think I would get a little aggravated on defense because I love playing defense and
The
I,
adjustments. Like
yeah.
you're not just calling. Yeah, you're not just calling a base cover two. You got to make adjustments.
Yeah, yeah, you have to make adjustments, and you got to be in the right place with your user. Seems like if
Yes.
you're just going to pick a guy on the outside and just rush the passer, you better get to the passer because if you don't, you're going to fail. Whereas if
Yeah.
you're in coverage, you can kind of jump routes, and yeah. So I
Yes.
guess it'd be really interesting to, you really have to pick up the guys you think you can succeed with.
Exactly.
So,
I agree.
looking in the broadcast chat here, it looks like you and Triple Aries may actually be hosting a podcast. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So brainstorm. Kind of cherry picking off the idea of I think we're toying with the name of like the showdown. Like that. Well, I'm having a brain cramp on the ESPN show with Stephen A. Smith. That type of show of banter, of two different opinions on different topics is what we're going for. And that should pretty much be pretty natural for him and me because
Yeah, you
that's what
guys are
we've been.
rivals. Yeah, you guys are
Yes.
rivals. I'm really interested in it. It looks like it's going to be our third show. Well, actually, our fourth show. We have SBN, every
Yes.
Thursday night, and then we have Alpha's Unfiltered, which just made its comeback.
Caught that.
That's doing very successful. And then we had Big Al in the Huddle. I thought that was a really good episode. Did you catch that one this morning?
I'm gonna catch that as soon as we get off. I
Yeah,
saw it
that
on
was
my
that was
yeah.
good. I tell you, he does a good job. I'm really interested to see what he's got over there. And then he's just got a really good football mind too. And then we have you guys.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So what was the name of the show again? Do you guys have it ironed out yet?
We haven't made it official. He pitched the showdown. We were going back with names and he was like the showdown. And I was like, yeah, I like that. He's even got the artwork for it going so far. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Trip is a great, fantastic artist, man. That guy can. I think he teaches that. I'm not quite sure, but I think he teaches graphic art on the side, or that's his main job. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he does a fabulous job. Some of the images that guy makes is just amazing, and he's not a bad player either.
Oh my gosh, I hated being in the cotton picking same division with him. It was battle after battle. I actually felt bad a little bit last season, the last season we played, because it seemed like every game we played, he was controlling, and I would come out somehow and win the game on the flukest stuff. It was, I would sit there then and be like, "How did I win that?" The statistics would show, he's basically got it, and whether it was a turnover or I had the ball last or something, our games unless I threw 7 picks in the game, which when you play me is always an option. Uh, it was always a tight game all the way to the end. I kind of miss that now. Maybe we'll hook up, next year. But yeah, always knock them out, drag their battles every time.
Yeah, in all fairness, you both are like that because I've played you both. I've played you a lot. I've played Trip a lot too, and I get my fair share of losses against both you guys. And you guys are the same way because looking at it from a defensive standpoint, I drop back with the linebacker or come up with the safety, and if I don't select the right guy or if I bite on something I'm not supposed to, both of you guys take advantage of it, and it's almost good as gold that you're going to hit that open guy every time.
The mad thing part is knowing both of you being good users. I'm looking for the user, and the bad part is, I'm not one of these guys that's just looking for one read, and my eyes are scanning, and I'll find your user, and instead of actually going away from the user, I wind up throwing right at right at the user. I'm like, oh. And when you just one mistake against, a good defensive player, and you're behind the eight ball because especially if it's someone like you who's offensively good as well, you're screwed. So again, that's why over the years I tried. Anybody that knows me, I try initially to I'm gonna run the ball this Madden cycle, and it never quite worked. If anybody plays me right now, I'm just letting everybody know. If you've played me and you notice, I'm not trying to be cheesy, but I have like only one under center formation right now in my book. Everything else is gun because I run it. But if I'm gonna have an under center formation, that means I'm looking to run. And when I run from under center, it's like everybody's like, "Oh, Blessed is running," and and the pass game from under center, play action, whatever the pass protection is so spotty with it. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna stay in gun, and that's what's working for me right now.
See, I've always attributed you or kind of compared you to playing like Peyton Manning of the NFL. So when you go up against you, you're primarily out of the gun, like you said, but you can completely change the field in a couple plays or flip your game plan, so to speak. You could be coming after me with, looking at the Colts team, you could be coming after me with T.Y. Hilton, and then all of a sudden you have the running back out of the backfield. You just adapt really well to what I'm calling on defense. So a lot of times my defensive game plan is just completely shot by the second quarter. I have to completely flip everything I'm doing to try to stop you.
Honestly, I'm like, if as long as I don't bury myself in interceptions,
Oh, we lost you there.
I'm like, usually I can figure out
Mm-hmm.
what's going on against me. The question is, how many picks have I thrown before I figure it out?
So what what is your favorite what's your favorite offensive play?
Uh, See, I don't like I just like the curls concept works for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not looking for like a money play. Everybody knows that there's money plays.
Right.
And if you ask me what formation do I basically like to run out of, I like to run out of trips formations. But does if I'm in doubles or trips or whatever, I like curls because basically, if I adjust, if I see something, if that's what the defense is giving me, something's going to be open. Usually, if someone's using the middle and they're already spotlighting out on the receivers, then well, that's problematic. But
That's
the last, the
curls.
last,
That's interesting, curls, because I can never get the curls to work for me. And I've played using Tom Brady and now Stidham, however you pronounce his name. If I throw a curl, that thing's a pick six.
no, it's. I like to stick with concepts. That's what That's what I
Mm-hmm.
basically go to, and if I could stay in like a spread or a doubles, I would.
Now, see, I lost you there on the mic, but
No.
I think my favorite offensive play that I like, the concept that I like, is an underneath slanting receiver to kind of grab that lurking user, and then I like that
Mhm.
deep post to kind of split the safeties and take advantage, or the streak behind it, so I can take advantage of that lurker, and then just go opposite side, elevated over him for a bigger play.
I mean, I think I'm mostly known for like levels. I'm attacking at multiple levels of a defense.
Hmm.
The only thing that's problematic is if you have a good user in the middle of the field, and we still have linebackers that can take away three options. I find that at this stage is you gotta throw things out there, whether it's back or there's a drag coming late or whatever. But I'm not the drag king. That's not my thing. I'm aggressive to my fault, but it makes it problematic to attack the middle of the field. I'm more attacking whether it's a long crossing route coming from one side to the other, or I'm purely working the outside because again, when you have these 86, 87, 88 speed middle linebackers and guys who can use or work anything, taking away three routes over the middle, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right. Kind of getting away from the plays here. I'm just going to throw an off the wall question for you. What's your favorite Madden? Which year's Madden kind of sticks out to you?
What was it? Madden 10 or 11? I'm way back.
Okay.
Um, I can't remember. There was a specific year recently in the from I can't remember which one it was, but one of those was my offense was off the chain. It was crazy. But I can't remember which one it was though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I tend to like the older Maddens myself too, because I felt like there were kind of less animations and less randomness to it. It felt like it was
Yes.
more like you throw it to the open guy, he makes the catch. If you're there on defense, you put your hands up, you make the pick.
Yes.
Now it's kind of a 50-50. A lot of times you could be in the right position, but yet the animation takes over and he makes a superstar catch or the ball gets tipped up and so on and so forth. But
Mhm.
what do you think of the two new football games coming out next year, too? We have Access Football.
Mhm.
And then we have Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 2019, both coming out around the same time in September. Are you going to check those games out?
Yes, I am. I caught both interviews. Interviews are excellent. And I had heard of Flutie's game. I hadn't heard of the other game till the interview. It's always best for competition, and I'm always pulling for the independents to have success because I don't have this pipe dream of somebody coming around and knocking EA off the pedestal. But I like more options, and both of those look. No, go ahead.
Yeah, and they're very affordable at like 20 or $25, I think, is what they were talking. I mean, that's half the price of a regular Xbox game.
Yes,
But
yes.
neither one will have an online franchise this year unless they, kind of change. But in both interviews, I think, Axis said he wants to nail down the gameplay. Danny with Axis said he wants to nail down that gameplay first. Which, hey, I
I,
I agree with him 100% on that. Get your gameplay down, and then let's expand.
yeah, I got no qualms of that. Please.
Yep. And then Doug Flutie, Dave over there had told us that he was looking at possibly 2020 for an online version of that game. So that'd be cool too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always you wished. Again, everybody's frustrated with EA and Madden, but with the frustration, you got to realize that they are working. There is a good group of guys there. They do hear, and it's not like the game is completely terrible. This is stuff, especially with the patches. Me personally, I thought the game when it came out day one was fine.
Yeah, me too. I really like the game day one.
Yeah, I don't really get all the patches. This falling forward with everybody bugs bugs me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. And from what I heard, I'm not trying to derail this. I thought they did consult the game changers, and the game changers had basically gave their okay. This is good. This will work. And then as soon as we got it patched, and boom.
Yeah, here's my one qualm with the game changers. And game changers, if you're listening, block your ears. Soden unfiltered, as Alpha would say, without the squeaky voice. Game changers. EA, if you're going to use game changers, use guys that intend to change the game. They intend to improve your product,
Yeah.
not just promote your product. They're
Oh,
not there to, they get the
ding.
they don't get the game changer status to simply pass on information that you're giving them. Actually
Yes.
use them to improve your product. Let them
Yeah.
show you what they want to see, what their fans want to see, because a lot of these game changers have a pretty good following on
Hmm.
Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on anything. Let these guys tell you what you guys need to do to improve the game, to test the game. If you can get them as QA guys, cool, man, do it.
The man is preaching. I wholeheartedly agree. Yes.
Okay, you can unblock your ears now, game changers. We love you.
Yeah.
So, looks like we are almost at the halfway point of the season, UB. There are some new owners in the league. What advice can you give to somebody who is just joining the league and they want to be successful, maybe win a Super Bowl or three like you have? What advice can you pass on to them?
Oh man. Uh, Hope that the Madden gods smile upon you and that you don't have a rack of injuries. Um, Stay balanced. Now, again, this sounds hypocritical coming from me, but I haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time. So you can't be one dimensional. Um, whatever you deem that you are weak at, lab it, work on it, and whatever you are good at, push that, focus on that. That's what I would push because the learning curve and everything. Well, just here, if you look at this league up and down, forget the records. Just look at the names that are here and the guys that are here. This is an excellent league in terms of talent. So, you can't be upset if, you're 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, whatever your record is. It's not like you're playing scrubs. Um, everybody here is good. So, what I've done as I play more and more each year is I don't normally now when I lose a game immediately just get out the game. I do go to view highlights and try to go back and look what did I do well, what did I not do well. I think that stuff's important. We're streaming. I go back and watch my streams. Um, if there's somebody who's doing well, when they're streaming, when there's a game that we're broadcasting, watch that thing, and not just for scouting purposes, but see what somebody else is doing. Not to take the, not necessarily to steal, but it's nice to see what somebody else is doing, and take a little here from there in terms of not plays, but how they play. Some guys are really good in terms like Seahawks is just meticulous about everything. He works clock. He's about field position. He does not force a thing. When you get any type of,
Oh, lost you there, bud.
I can't even remember the last time I got an interception off of him. When you get an interception or something off of him, you've done something. He makes no mistakes. His team is, from off-season, free agency, draft, he turns over no stone. He turns over every stone. He is, one of the best coaches, players, whatever I've ever seen. And every title that he's got, I'm not trying to be blowing smoke up anybody's butt, but he is. If you really want to pay attention, if you want my real answer, that would be it. Watch Seahawks because he doesn't even play the game year round. And then he comes in and wrecks stuff because he's just that good.
Yeah, so Seahawks has won 16 Super Bowls.
It's crazy.
Here's an even crazier stat for you. He's lost 12.
So he's at the end of the year, he's there,
28.
one way or the other. Yeah.
28 Super Bowls out of we're in Super Bowl 9. This will be Super Bowl 93.
Yes.
So out of 93 Super Bowls, he's made it to 28 of them. That is astounding.
Yes. So, guys like him, guys like you, I would pay attention to the guys who have the hardware, to the guys that are steadily there, playoffs every year. Pay attention to what they're doing. It's not just team building, it's not just scheme. Pay attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, great advice. I've got a little bit of advice for some of you new guys because I know you were asking in the chat earlier. Guys, if you lose, when you lose, nobody's going undefeated. When you
Right.
lose, take a step back for a minute. Don't look at the little flaws, kind of like what Alpha said on his unfiltered episode. Look, we all make mistakes. Don't look for these little mistakes that somebody does and blame that as the reason you lost. I can guarantee it if you go back an hour later or maybe the next day and you look at the reason you lost, it's probably because you turned the ball over, you made a bad play, you didn't make a correct read, or you just got outplayed. It's going to be one of those four things.
Yep.
And just
I
like you
agree
said,
wholeheartedly.
improve your game. Look at what you did wrong and make it right. Look at what you did good and expand upon it. You do those things
Yeah.
and you're going to be successful.
Yeah, that streaming thing, it's not just, what's a league rule or, this is a way for people to scout me. No, it's a way for you to scout yourself.
That's right.
Go
Sure
back
is.
and watch your games.
Yep, sure is. And balancing the football, like you said, I know. Yeah, I'm a pass heavy guy too, and here I am with the Broncos, and boy, I do not have a passing game, man, but I can play defense. So
Yes, you
I'm
can.
playing defense, and I'm just trying not to turn the ball over, and so far it's doing pretty well for me. We'll see if I can kind of grab this division away from the Chargers. We'll see what happens.
And how many times is it that the defensive guys are like at the end of the year? Like, your brother is really good at defense.
Yep.
He has issues with, offense and those the games, not him personally, but his gripes are always, offensively, what's going on with this or that. But defensively, I mean, he is clamped down, locked.
Yep, lost you there, but yeah, he's solid on defense.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, it is 8 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. This show kind of flew by. We got a 15-minute kind of a delay of games, so to speak, but at least we got your mic
Yeah.
ironed out. Anything you want to say before we leave?
No, I enjoyed this. I'm glad to be here in Solon Bowl. This is a great league. I know I've been here, I've been gone, I've been here, I've been gone. But if you want to spin that, the reason to keep coming back is there are good people that run this league. You're an excellent, excellent commissioner. there are good people here. Even when there are people that leave, they're always replaced with good people. And it's just a good community here. And if you're here, if you're hearing my voice, this is a league to check out. If you're already here, enjoy this league, be a contributor content wise, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man, and it's you owners, you guys, Hall of Fame owners, all you guys in Sim League right now. We're extremely happy with everybody. You guys are pumping out content. You guys are pumping out games. I'll tell you what, man, I've never watched so many games in one season as we have so far in SL. Seems like I'm watching just about every game.
And they've been good.
They've been really good. Well, yeah, those of you that are interested in the Sim League, we're always looking for, currently we're full, but we're always looking for good, talented owners, users, gamers. Check us out on Twitter, Soden_Bowl_19. That's our Twitter. Or come check out our website, sodenbowl.com. Lots of cool stuff there. We do have a rewards program. There's been a little bit of confusion on that. You're not actually spending money or anything like that. It's based on your activity in the league. So, you share some stuff on Twitter, you play your games on time. You earn these points, and you can flip those points around and actually purchase upgrades for your players and your team, which it just kind of adds a new aspect into the game, which we feel is really cool. So if you guys want to be a part of that, maybe you're an aspiring broadcaster, streamer, something like that. We now have 4 shows on YouTube. It's really blown up here. It's doing very well. So if you guys want to get in on some of that, let us know. Drop us a message on Twitter. Come over to the website, drop us an email on the website, join us in the chat. Well, my friend, you're blessed. I really appreciate you coming on. With that being said, my friend, closing statements. Anything?
No, again, just thanks for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the show with Aries. And again, let's have some fun. I'm ready to go.
All right, buddy. Thank you for coming on. Soden Bowl, we are out of here. See you next Thursday.